3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Well, hello. Welcome to the Dennis and Andy Show Wednesday edition. Oh, look, Dennis, I have a new hat I want to put on.
Oh?
I am wearing my DNA shirt because I'm committed to this relationship, Dennis.
Oh, I feel
Unlike
bad
you,
for you.
You should feel bad you should, because when one partner isn't committed, the partner that's not committed should feel bad to the partner that is committed.
Nope. Until we can get DNA shirts and tank tops, I'm pretty good. It was too hot today after the gym, so screw it.
You can.
You get me in my Green Bay Packers. No.
From that website?
Nope.
That's because I haven't made one. I just have to make one.
Well, then get on your ass. If you
that's
want
all
me
I
to
gotta
have
do.
a tank top, you need to get on that.
Look at that sport new hat. Look at that. Astonishing Comics hat.
Look at that.
Get it up there. Look at that. Oh, Astonishing Comics hat. Don't need a hat in the studio, though. So I will say I'm not going to wear a hat. On camera, no, I'm not. So it is the Wednesday edition. We will be talking about, smudging my glasses. That's driving me crazy. I'm just, losing my mind.
My God, the whole day. Just start over.
That's it.
Cancel it.
Cancel
Show's
the show.
over. We're done.
In other words, what Dennis is saying is he feels like I'm one of these. There is nothing wrong with a man letting out his emotions and having a good cry. That's all I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with a good cry, Dennis.
Oh, that explains all the tissues that I saw when I came up today in the wastebasket.
That's exactly what those tissues were there for, Dennis. A good cry.
A good cry.
Has nothing to do with websites.
Just a cry.
It has nothing to do with
Nope.
websites up in my private office where I'm by myself all day long.
Notice that is why I knock on your door to make sure that you are here.
That's right. No indecent proposal. Let's share the screen. Pop Culture's in the house.
Well, welcome, Pop. Glad you could join us.
Afternoon to you. There we go. First and foremost, of course, got to talk about First Man. 6 days left, gentlemen. 6 days to become part of the coolest superhero book in CG. I said it. I'm laying down the gauntlet.
Less than a week.
It's not always about quantity. It's about quality. And this is the superhero book that you need. Let's burn through this trailer real fast. I added the one where I say, look at these 4 people, because people love this trailer.
Luke Henry, after kicking Monarch's ass to the depths of space, is back on Earth. And now he's looking to save the world from the Fourth World Foundation. Sure, he had help from Penumbra before, but she's not helping him this time. He's got to face it on his own. Look at these 4 people. He's coming for a villain known as Adonis. He'll do it. You'll be there. Back it now. First Man 2, Learning Curve.
There it is, guys. First Man 2 Learning Curve. We're at $26,480. I want to get this baby over 30,000 in the next 6 days. I know we can do it. Get it to 500 plus backers with your help sharing the campaign. I know we can do it. There's a link in the description below. Just copy, paste it, share the campaign. And if you haven't backed it, back it now. You will not regret it. You will love it. So do that. All right. We've got a lot to cram into the show. We got new comics. We got our Shang Chi. I was saying Shang my whole life, and now I hear it's actually pronounced Shang. Shang-Chi movie review. And then we're going to review the comic book Superman 78 from DC. So let's move on with new books.
It is Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
So New Comics Wednesday was here, and thankfully I have a great local comic shop, and Diamond screwed up and UPS screwed up and people didn't get their books, but my guy came through. So I got there. We had a great conversations about all the different movies that Andy and I have seen, and we got to pick up all the books. So I quick ran home and figured out which ones I was able to get. X-Force, this is the variant cover that I got. I just love this cover. Nice. And I didn't care about the regular cover, so I only got this one. So X-Men, I only got one cover this week. Ooh. Excalibur, yep, good. This wasn't bad. I did get I got both covers on this one. This is the Doc Doom. So Doc Doom's making his appearance. We'll see if it's any good.
Finally.
Nice House on the Lake. So this is getting towards the end of it. This is a Black Label. This is a good a horror book. This is fun. This has been a surprisingly good story. I guess that's what happened when DC allows their Black Label guys to just write a good story and not meddle with it too much. So been pretty happy with this one.
That's cool. The Me You Love in the Dark.
Now, I already did the quick flip and first review of the first one on this one. And this was kind of a really interesting, cool kind of story. Long and short, a girl winds up an artist, a fancy artist, who needs to get back on track because she's from the big city, winds up buying a house that's haunted. She didn't know it was haunted. She didn't really believe in hauntings.
Nobody really goes into buying a house going, it's haunted. I think I want this one.
Actually, there's another book where they do just that. And they go perfectly, we know the history of this house. We know who was murdered in the house. And it's haunted. Yeah, we'll take it.
I consider myself the Me I Love in the Dark. Actually.
Oh, I thought you meant you were going to be haunted.
No, I love myself in the dark. Because when I have the lights on, I cry.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's just so sad. Because there's a mirror, so I see myself. It's just sad.
It's just,
I don't know what this book is because Dennis didn't want to upload one that actually had a title on the cover.
Well, believe it or not, that is the variant cover for The Conjuring. That was the prequel to the movie we went and saw.
Yep.
So there's one issue left of it. For whatever reason, this was the only cover anybody had up and running on it. So that is what it is. I know what it is. That has actually been pretty decent as well. It was actually a pretty good prequel so far to the movie. I wish they would have just put this out, literally finished it before the movie came out.
Pop wants to know, is The Me You Love in the Dark a good read?
I would say yes. There's a fair amount of reading on it. Go just type in #full review with the title because I did a full review on that one and I did the quick flip. It's interesting. I've decided to keep it on my pull list because I think it's got potential. Now, it could fall off the railings, but I did like how it started. So,
just go to the main page for the Dennis and Andy show and it should show there, shouldn't it?
Yeah, you can find it. I've got it in the playlist. If you can either just type it in as #full review and then the title, issue number 1, or you can just go. I've got them all in playlists, so all the shorts are in the playlist. I've got a playlist for full reviews and a playlist for all these live streams, so you can always go back out and check all of them out.
There you go.
Not all robots. Mark Russell. I also did a full review on the first one of this one. Also, really cool. This takes place in the future, and it's Nothing super original, but I almost think of it like the Cylons. They are there. The robots were created to help us out.
You've been a madman with the reviews. I can't keep up. Dennis is just video and stuff crazy.
It has been awful because I'm getting so much and I've been reading. So I have to read them before I can figure out what I want to review and then do them. So I only got 3 quick flips out today. And obviously you'll see I got like 16 or 17 books. So I got to do a whole bunch more.
I have no idea what that book is.
Yep, that's another one. So that's that's actually the variant cover. Let me just pull it up.
Some of us are ready when it comes to showtime.
Wow. See, that was the Conjuring. Oh, that's, again, they don't have the timer. That's the Unbelievable Unteens, issue number 2. And that's the only cover that they had available at that time to pull it up. And it wound up being, that was another good, pretty interesting first read that I also did a full review on. A surprisingly interesting story. So, yeah, I picked up number 2. That one popped today. So,
what's the story about? Brief.
So, brief story on this one is there's a comic book artist like Andy. So, say Andy goes to a comic convention and he's doing all the comic convention. He's doing his signings. He does some head sketches. He meets people. He takes photographs with it, which is exactly, we've seen our reviews. That's what Andy does. But then all of a sudden, Andy decides to go home and people are following Andy and like staring at him. And then what happens after he gets drunk? All of a sudden, a ghost appears while he's in working on First Man. And the ghost is like, hey. And she's like, what are you doing in here? I'm one of your teammates. What are you talking about? All the stories that you wrote, they're not stories. They've all happened to you before. That's our history that you're putting out in stories. And something bad happened. She has no recollection of what happened beforehand. Right? And this is why First Man is going to be late.
Whoa. That's some trippy shit right there. But he described my life to a T.
It's an interesting concept. So, yeah, pretty fun.
Oh, look, a Star Trek book. We know that's that. So far, nothing of mine.
Nothing. Mirror War. Come on, Mirror Universe. Any of you Trekkies out there? That has always been one of the best shows, comics that they've ever done. I am very much looking forward to this particular run, and I hope they do it justice.
And it's a 0 issue.
It is.
I hate 0 issues. They just don't make sense. Just make it up one and call it a day.
The search for who? It's who?
Who? The search for who?
The search for who?
Who's on first?
Aftershocks. Aftershocks is putting out some really good comic books. This one, they only got a couple of issues of this one in. So it basically, there's a guy whose name's Aaron. He lives for his family, and if not, he's going to wind up dying for their secrets. So I'm always going to give this one a shot. It looks interesting. The art looks solid. I'm going to be doing a quick flip on this, so stay tuned.
Ooh,
looks interesting.
The search for who's on first, what's on second, I don't know. Third base. I like your picks. Dennis has good picks every week.
I just wish I had the budget to do all the picks. The last book you'll ever read, another one.
First Man, Volume 2, back it now. Oh,
good plug.
You're talking about this.
The last book you'll ever read, not Andy's. Colin Bunn has been on fire, been putting out a lot of stuff. Go back and check out. I did the first issue of this one. It's an interesting read. Anyway, go back and check that one out. I picked up 2, and I'll probably do a collective 3 review next month.
Woo! Okay, finally, a book that Dennis and I both bought because, I'm a superhero guy. Avengers. Tech on, Avengers. Tech on. I like the art in this book. The story in the first one was pretty good. It was mostly set up, and then, the issue ends where Tony Stark has to swoop in and save the day because all the Avengers basically lost their powers. It was Kang, wasn't it? Is it Kang? Who's the villain? Kang, yeah. Kang's the villain. It's been a month, guys. I'm surprised I remembered that. So pat myself on the back there. Only one person's memory is worse than mine, and unfortunately, it's Joe Biden because he's our president, and I prefer his memory to be better. I thought the story was good. I really like the art because it looks just like Japanimation, and I love that art style. So I was sold just looking at the art, and I like it, so I got issue 2.
I was same boat. I thought it was going to be stupid. I'm not completely sold on the story. I think it's interesting. But Andy's like, dude, check out the art. And as soon as I open up the art, I'm like, damn, that is really nice art. So I bought it strictly for the art, and we'll see if I'm surprised on the story.
It's a visual medium, baby. That's the first thing you see to pick up a book. Last Flight to Hell out. Last Flight out.
Yep. Dark Horse, this is going to be a 6-issue miniseries, and it looks good.
Number 1?
Yeah, number 1.
Okay.
This is number 1 of 6. So I'm going to give this a shot, and we'll see if this is any good.
That cover's very movie poster. You know, the way they did the logo and stuff. It's not the typical logo right at the top that they usually do. Let's see. Do either of you guys ever speculate and pick up multiple copies? Some of those hard titles can't have a huge print run. I don't really speculate anymore. I've been burned in the past. Example, Wolverine miniseries from the 80s. Yes, it's a long time ago. Bear with me. I did pick up doubles of those. I don't know why. I just was like, this is really cool. So I got doubles. And then where did I get burned? Because that shot up pretty quickly, even back then. Where did I get burned? When I bought 4 copies of each issue of Nightcrawler miniseries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a burn. So I generally don't speculate anymore.
Yeah, and I'm not a big speculator. Now what I may do is, like in X-Men, if they have 2, 3, 13, 15 covers, I may pick up the bulk of the different covers because I'm one of those morons, and I just can't stop doing it. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to go pick up, speculate, 10, I'm going to pick up 10 of number 1 or number 2, because the problem with today's speculation is this market is a very fickle market. And it's basically driven by your media. So it's driven by the movies, the TV shows. You never know what's going to come out. And a lot of times what happened, like, for example, Angel Dust, when she made her first appearance in Morlock. Oh, my God, going to be in Deadpool. Oh, it's going to be huge. Everybody ran out. Some people had bought, because there was a first appearance in it, 5, 6, 7 copies back in the day. It shot up to $25, and then the movie came out, and it's right back down to finding him in the dollar bin. So now I'm not going to speculate. I will pick up books because I want to read them, and I will pick up multiple versions, but I'm not going to buy 10 just number 1s anymore. Just don't do that.
There you go. I wouldn't recommend it either. Just buy what you like, and if you don't like it, and then the next thing you know, it went up in value, whatever.
The problem with that is if you get 10 of everything, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be worthless. So out of the 90% of them are going to be worthless. Then you might get lucky and hit on one, but are you going to be able to recoup the cost of those? Probably not.
The Wolverine miniseries has exploded. Oh, I know. Yes. And I got my, I only have 1 set still. I got rid of the doubles a long time ago. So I have my 1 set, and I got my number 1 recently graded, and I think it's a 9.0. So, I know.
All the X titles have been exploding. So I've been happy about that.
Dead
Not
Box.
like I'm ever going to sell them. Dead Box. This wasn't even on my list. I walked in and I was like, Vault. And then I was looking and I'm like, Mark Russell again. And I'm like, he's been putting out some pretty good stuff. So I didn't realize he was doing anything for Vault, but it's an independent. I flipped it open and looked. I'm going to do a quick flip on it. You know what? Yep, this made the list. This made the cut. So I picked this one up unexpectedly.
There you go. Next up, what's that say?
That is Helm Grey Castle. The same thing you complain about every time.
It's the video game one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
the art has been spectacular.
Yeah, I like the art.
Yeah. And I'm a sword and board kind of guy as well. And so this story has been solid. I don't play the game, so don't really care about that aspect of it, but it's been a good story.
Yeah, that was a nice cover on Dead Box. That definitely was. I agree with that.
Yeah, the other one had like a phone booth on the front cover, like one of the Brit box. That was all right. Devil's Dominion. I'm still getting this one. Ugh. I'm still behind on it. I know Andy's not fond of.
See, if you loved it, you wouldn't be behind on it. I just don't like the coloring that much. I don't mind the art that much. Actually, I met the guy that draws this a few years ago in New York at New York Comic Con. It was 2018, maybe. I don't know.
I don't mind it.
It was hard. I don't like the coloring unless the coloring's changed. It didn't really do anything for me when I read it. That's why Dennis is very more into trying the different genres than I am. I admit I'm a superhero guy through and through. I do read different type of things. It's not all superhero stuff. But, you know, I've got enough other stuff going on that it's, I'm very picky.
He is.
I'm picky. Picky. What's that say? Redshift?
Redshift. So this is Scout Comics. So I have become, they finally got a hold of me, and I'm going to become a reviewer for Scout Comics. They're not going to send me physical copies. They are going to send me PDFs, but I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do it. But I'm going to do reviews of their new books and stuff before they're actually released. That would give you guys a little bit of, hopefully, leadway if anything really piques our interest, where you could go to your local comic book shop and have them order some in.
Who published the book before Devil's Dominion? That
Black Box.
Before Devil's Dominion? What was before Devil's Dominion?
Oh.
I thought that was the Image one. Let's see. Go back. Yeah, that's Image.
Oh, yeah. Image and Top Cow. It's a joint effort on the two of them.
Look how many books Dennis buys.
I know. Resistance I'm behind on. It's J. Michael Straczynski, and it's always good stuff. I will probably, because you can see how many books I get, and with my daughter leaving for Korea, my time has just been all taken up. I'm going to probably hit this one up probably next month when the final one comes out. I'll probably just review them all and then let you guys know if it's worthy of getting a trade.
There you go. And now we're going to talk Shang Chi.
Yep, we all went and saw it.
The Legend of the Ten Rings. Yes, we went and saw this on Friday. My daughter was really excited, so we went. We saw it right out of the gate. We'll leave spoilers to a minimum. We'll leave our CGC grade for the end like we always do. But I will say, out of the gate, better than I thought it was going to be, and liked it better than Black Widow. And that's what most people I hear are saying.
I so far, and Andy and I have not discussed this, I agree with everything he said so far.
Okay. So you can lead, and then I'll go.
So it starts off innocent. So, you know, my family's into Vault, Scott, AWA. Yes. Aftershock. Totally. A lot of these small presses, Small Point Press, they're Blackbacks. Yeah, they're all putting out really decent stuff. Sometimes with people you know, sometimes with people you don't. So I mean, I do love what these indies are doing. So good for them. This starts off much more like a K-drama would. It doesn't start off what you would normally picture a Marvel movie. It didn't start off feeling like a Marvel movie. You don't know any of the characters going into it. There's our main character, Sean, and he's got Katie, which is his. We can't tell if they're girlfriends or just really good friends at this point.
There's a little chemistry between Shang Chi and Katie, who's played Awkwafina. I say in the movie, the way the movie starts out, I would just say they're basically best friends. But then by the end of the movie, there could be that little spark because of the stuff they went through. Because she follows him all the way back to China and stuff. So, you know, she ends up going through a lot as well. And I think that pulls them closer together. So we'll see in the second one if they develop that relationship more.
They hint at it. And then even one of the granny, she's like, "Oh, when are you two getting married?" And they're like, "Married?
Yeah.
No." And honestly, their chemistry, if there is supposed to be a spark, they had no chemistry between them that would even remotely think that there was a spark. So they're more like good friends, and that's the way they felt throughout the entire movie. And I hope they keep it that way, because if they try and take it to the next level, then they failed. But we don't really know, because it's not dealt upon in the movie very much at all.
Yeah, no, I see that, and you're right. I mean, if you just look at the way they interacted and stuff, it really did look like two good buddies.
Yeah,
and that could be either two guys or two girls. That's kind of the relationship they had. So
they're valets.
Yeah, they're valets. For those not in the know, I had to tell Dennis what a valet was. They park cars.
So Andy knows, because that's what he used to do.
They park cars for the elite that roll up and go, "Here's my car," and park it. And then, she, of course, in kind of this role reversal, she's the more risky one, the one that lives on the edge. So they take a car out, a real hot rod car out.
So think of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah. So she does that, which is fine.
And she's the one driving, and he's scared. He's like crapping his pants.
She is driving pretty erratic.
She's driving like most of the women do.
Shitty?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Well,
and yet they have the better insurance rates.
I've got the handle thing to hold on to when Helen drives in our SUV.
Well, I call mine Susie handles.
Yeah, I call mine Helen handles.
See?
So
we all have the same thing.
Exactly. So that's how it starts off, and then of course, the thing I like about Marvel movies is they do get right into it, and I think they do a good job of getting right into the action. Like Dennis said, now I don't watch a lot of K-dramas. That's I guess stands for Korean dramas. Yeah, so I don't watch a lot of those, so I can't really say, "Oh yeah, this thing started out like a K-drama." I'll take Dennis's word for it. It starts off with the Legend of the Ten Rings, so that obviously goes back, thousands of years. So in typical Marvel fashion, instead of spending a good chunk of the movie on it, they can wrap all that up in like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, which is all it needed. It didn't need a lot more, because it wasn't about building character. It was just an information dump on the 10 rings. That's what it was. And then how Shang-Chi's dad met Shang-Chi's mom, because that's basically how that sequence ended. And then it does cut to, San Francisco, valet. That's when they get on
the bus.
The bus, basically. And
then we get our speed moment.
Right. And then as we've seen in the trailer, he's fighting on the bus. And then Awkwafina's character is just blown away, because I guess for the 10 years that she's known him, he's never done anything like that. If anything at all, he's more the guy that gets picked on, is what you gather.
He's smart. He went to school. She went to school. Neither one of them's doing anything with their lives, and they're just on the bus chatting, like if Andy and I were just, "Hey man, we're on our way to work, blah 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 blah." Yeah, we're.
And then somebody picks on Dennis, and I got to step up and kick some ass with my kung fu fighting skills that I have.
Yep. So again, Fantasyland, just like this is. So I mean, that's it's all good.
I could get punched out a bus window
and
hang on to the side of it, no problem.
Yep. It leads us into a great fight scene.
Yeah.
And it's all about stealing a necklace, and so that all leads into it, and that's fine. So the fight sequences were really good on the bus.
Yeah.
Let's just say, and then we find out his dad's been 10,000 years old. He's gone through all of these wars, the dynasty. He's basically conquered everything, and they kind of go through a history of it, and they lead up, and they do a nice job. And then you find out that he meets his mom, and his mom's. We thought it was going to be Kunlun, and it winds up not. It's a Talo.
Wait, you thought it was going to be Kunlun?
Yeah, because that would make total sense from
Iron Fist.
With Iron Fist, with
I guess I never really thought about it.
It's
connecting the two,
right? And that would have been my assumption, just like Fing Fang Foom. And anyway, there were all of these things, and they went in a different direction. So it's a different place with a similar story and similar a lot of things. Don't know why they did that. Has to be a reason. But it was.
Did you think there was good character development of Shang Chi throughout the movie?
It was fine. I thought it was average. They didn't develop him. So this movie, in my mind, should be about him and his personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
And it wound up being equally split between him and his sister.
Right.
His sister, and there is where I had my first problem with this was, for example, Daddy taught Shang-Chi how to
wait. Shang-Chi.
I hear you.
Good God.
Shang-Chi.
It is not Shang. You would piss off the Asians mispronouncing their names.
Yep.
It is Shang-Chi.
He's been Shang-Chi ever since I read him back in the 70s.
Just because you mispronounced it wrong then.
And it will always mispronounce it.
Oh my God. You are so full of hyperbole.
Exactly. You know, if I could put you out of the screen, I would right now.
But you can't.
I can't. So, you know, the problem is, his dad taught him because he's not allowed to teach his sister because girls weren't allowed to be taught Kung Fu. They taught him his ways. Mom, who was actually a really cool character, wound up also teaching him her ways, which is a different type of magical Kung Fu. And the sister, because she wasn't taught, she sat there outside and watched them and actually became a better martial artist, even though she was never trained than he was. And basically they were saying she's better in every aspect than what he is. And I'm like, it's her development, her growth, and the story should be solely focused in on him. So I had a bit of a problem with this because there was too much emphasis on the sister. And even in the cool scenes, which you saw in the clips, outside, the glass coming down where they're falling on the scaffolding and stuff like that, his sister's the one that saves the day, has to save Aquafina. It's not him. He should have been the hero to step up and save it, or been a schmo. And then throughout this, you develops everything and becomes this great master and blooms at the end to do it. None of those two things happened.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of did towards the end.
You didn't see him doing the Kung Fu. He rode the dragon most of the time. Even in the final scene, there were things that it was okay.
You know, when Shang-Chi got the rings, the power became yellow, orange. His dad had him, it was blue. You know, the effects in the movie, of course, I mean, hands down, Marvel does the great effects. You know that's going to happen. The fight scenes, phenomenal. So visually, the movie was just stunning. Yeah, it was a little light on character development for Shang-Chi.
And the other thing is, these are rings, things that I would put on my fingers.
Is that where rings go?
They do, except in this movie where all the rings go on their arms, right, which I would call bracelets. So I would call them Legends of the 10 bracelets. Then I'm just saying that was, and when we were sitting there, and I'm like, those are not rings, those are bracelets. So I'm sitting next to Andy going, those are bracelets. Small little things.
It's true. It's true. I never really thought about it, I'll be honest. I think the reason they did it visually this way is because it's just more powerful looking than if it's like, and these 10 rings come flying off the fingers and stuff, compared to catching them on his wrist and blasting out power and stuff. I didn't really think about it.
See, I gave you something to think about.
Well, no, but on a serious note, I think it's good that you brought it up, because I would like to, it'd be neat to see a poll to see how many people did think about that. And how many just kind of, like, I just kind of glossed over it. It just didn't really, you know.
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley is back in it, playing Trevor Slattery, the actor. We'll just leave it at that. He, of course, is a scene stealer. He's fantastic in the movie, of course. The actress, Michelle Yeoh, that plays the mom, is just fantastic as well. The aunt, she plays the aunt because, well, she plays the aunt. No spoilers.
Yep.
She's fantastic as well.
All I'm going to say about the Ben Kingsley thing is it was really cool because it wasn't a phenomenal scene, but what they're trying to do is fix the Iron Man problem when they introduced the Mandarin as an actor and kind of screwed it. They're at least trying to say, yeah, we really screwed the pooch on that one. We need to fix it. So we're going to bring him back and gives you some explanations as to why. And he always does do well in any scene that he's in. And he does a good job of trying to patch the hole from Iron Man.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought it was a nice callback to Iron Man, since, you know, everybody thought that was the 10 rings for sure. Then we found out it wasn't. It was a nice callback. Touching on Aquafina, I wasn't super excited to see her because it's not that I'm not an Aquafina fan. I just haven't seen her in enough stuff where I've been really impressed.
I like her as a stand-up comic, so
yeah.
I was happy if she was allowed to be herself in this, and she was to a very small degree. I wish they would have let her just run. And maybe they did, and this is what we got. It was okay.
No, I have a feeling they reined her in a little bit, character-wise, because there were some moments where she was a little jokey, where you're like, that doesn't really fit. You know, you probably wouldn't be jokey at this scene. You know, in the end of the movie, she had, she had some training with a bow and arrow, and I just thought they rushed it a little bit with some of the stuff she did at the end. I
thought it was crap.
Yeah, with her. Well, I'm trying not to give spoilers away, but
I know. I'm just telling you.
With her very quick lesson in a bow and arrow. I wish I could learn to shoot a bow and arrow that quick, that fast.
So I'm telling you, her name's Katie, which everybody can see from IMDb. And the issue that I have is, I've just got this stinking feeling with what they've done in here that she may become our Katie Bishop for the MCU.
What do you mean? Become like a master of kung fu as well?
Well,
what are you talking about?
Katie Bishop.
She's not Katie Bishop.
She's Katie, and she's now a marksman.
You think she might?
I don't know. It could be a reach, but all of a sudden she's able to do some amazing stuff.
I think that
with
would
2 days.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think that would be a reach. I totally forgot about
this. Is what happens when we don't discuss things.
It's true.
I got a feeling she could be the next Hawkeye.
These are just scenes of when mom and dad met.
She was amazing.
Yeah,
the mother. Great. That was when the mother met. She talks him off the ledge, basically becoming a crime lord. The scenes with these two were fantastic. So if you're a fan of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and the intimacy and the visuals, the scope
that of the fighting and stuff, that's how
it's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, this was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. The one thing this movie did right was its visuals were spot on, and it was grand.
Yeah.
Much like The Great Wall, Matt Damon, the one where it was in China. Beautifully, the color contrast. Again, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. This had some of that same feel. So the visuals on this were spot on. So I really enjoyed that. She's one of my favorite girls. I love Michelle Yeoh and everything that she does. She didn't have a huge role, but when she was on the screen, she always has the presence to take.
Most of the actors had a great presence on screen, but she definitely did. I thought the father did too.
Yeah.
The father was really good casting.
Yeah, I thought he was good. He played a good villain and a good dad.
Here she's teaching a little Shang Chi her way when it comes to fighting and stuff, because he picked up things from both mom and dad, and since mom technically beat dad in a fight when they first met, that's good because he was able to come back to some of the teachings of his mom when he fought dad in the end. So that was really well done, I thought. So I guess we can do the old
CGC score.
CGC score now. I'll go first this time. We don't have to write it down.
No, we're not going to write it.
I'll trust you. I go 7.5 on it. Was it one of Marvel's best movies? No. I mean, I honestly, God, I hate to say this. I'll say it just see if you agree. Do you think the Marvel's best days are now behind them? Like, do you think they've reached that peak when it came to Infinity War and Endgame, and now everything from here on out is just going to take, like, it was Endgame. Every movie just got, like, you start with Iron Man. I'm not going to do this for all 22, but you start with Iron Man and it starts real high. And then Iron Man 2, kind of leveled. Yep. Iron Man 3, little dip down. First Avenger, up. Winter Soldier, up. Civil War, up.
Yep.
In between there is Thor. Thor is up. Thor 2's down. Thor 3's back up. So if you flatten it out or look at a long view of it from Iron Man to Endgame, it was just up. But now Endgame is the peak of the hill or the mountain, and now we're like Black Widow down. Shang Chi actually back up a little bit because I think this was I like this better than Black Widow.
See, I would look at it a bit differently. I'll be curious.
Yes, there was two after credits,
which we're going to get into really quickly because I was going to give this movie a 6.0. I was giving it a 6.5. And then the after credit scene came on. And the after credit scene, I'm not going to spoil it, but I'll tell you the two people that were in there. Dr. Bruce Banner, which Mark Ruffalo looked like Grandpa in there, so he looked old.
But it could have been the effect they were doing. It was a hologram.
It could be.
We'll just say it was a hologram. But he did look old. But his arm was in a sling, but the one that held the gauntlet, so that was cool.
Yes. The other person that they brought in out of all the people in the world, because they didn't address the blip hardly at all, which bothered me.
They did address it though, but they did
so small.
It was small, but it didn't need to be a big thing.
No, I thought they be enough, but you got to address it in terms of the great big crime syndicate, the whole history, so they get through all of this history leading up to it, and they didn't address it.
What if the blip for them, because it affected everybody differently? What if the blip for Shang-Chi and Awkwafina's character Katie? What if it just didn't affect them? Like nobody really that
then
close.
Say that so that we know.
But that's the point that I got. That's what I got from it because the way they addressed it was so kind of nonchalant. The point I got from it was they weren't that affected by it.
So the two of them survived. All of their families survived. Then you've got the crime syndicate with hundreds of employers.
Yeah, but Shang-Chi doesn't give a shit if they survive, and this movie's about Shang-Chi.
It wasn't really addressed. They briefly mentioned it at the beginning. Well, anyway, my point is I dropped the movie an entire half point. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's what I got from you right now. Oh, they didn't address the blip.
No, okay, I'm Andy. I don't care about story. I only care about the art, and it looks great.
I do care about story,
but advancing story in the MCU.
Oh,
Spider-Man addressed it really great in the last
All
movie.
Right, move on.
So here's the whole point. At the end credit scene, it was Dr. Bruce Banner and then Captain Marvel. Yeah. She is the great scientist.
But she had long hair.
Talking about it. Oh, she had long hair, which makes it all better. No,
and I'm joking.
They got Brie Larson on there going, "Oh, well, what about this?" And I'm like, "Oh no, that is not your role in this. Why are you in here?" You know what? Half point deduction just because you chose Brie Larson as your Marvel spokesperson. Anybody else that's
Bruce Banner, Doctor Strange,
Thor.
I would have thrown in Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange would have been a great fit. Thor, I don't know if would have been a great fit. Oh, by the way, I just read. I think is it this year or next Christmas? It might be next Christmas. There's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy special on Disney Plus with live action.
Oh,
and that's going to
Star Wars,
and that's going to lead into the Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh. Interesting.
Well, it's coming out around Christmas time. It's not necessarily Christmas related. It just comes out then.
Huh.
But
interesting. So anyway, I dropped it an extra half point just because Brie Larson's in it.
so it's a 6. How would you rate Awkwafina acting overall? She has a show on Comedy Central. A show.
Yeah.
Does she have a stand-up special, you mean, on Comedy Central, or an actual show?
I think she's got a show. Now, I haven't seen a whole lot on Comedy Central. I usually just see her stand-up, like the shows that she does.
I thought she was fine.
Yeah.
I actually thought she looked really cute in this movie.
She
Dennis
fine.
Dennis thought she was a pig. Oh, I don't know. You did the whole nose push-up, oink, oink. I assume that's what you meant.
Oh, no, I was talking about the way you were eating your Raisinets.
Oh, damn it.
Damn
Guys,
it, Raisinets.
Raisinets, thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. You can tell us.
Seriously, yeah, no. Raisinets, seriously.
I liked her in the movie. I thought she did a good job. I don't think she was too over the top. She's comedy relief, but I don't think she was so over the top in the serious moments where you were like, really? You're cracking jokes now? She played it well, and this goes in with the writing, but she played it well from the standpoint of when she did crack jokes in the tenser moments, you could tell it's because she was insecure, I think.
Yeah, so I
like that.
She threw a lot of comic. She was very much comic relief. So.
Raisinets, so. Boy, ride that fence, pop culture. You can take my side. Dennis won't care. He'll just know that we're both
I
right.
would care because nobody. We did a poll. Nobody we know likes Raisinets except for Andy. Just saying. I'd much rather do peanut M&Ms. Like
2 people, so not a deep poll.
8.
There.
It was 8.
It was 8.
Well, because we've seen lots of movies this weekend, not just with you. But anyway, Awkwafina, she laid out all of these comics, and I'm going to say 65% of her jokes landed. She was good in parts. There were other times she kind of fell flat, but overall, she added to the movie. So she was fine, I thought.
Twizzlers, I like Twizzlers. I'm more of a peanut M&M's guy. I like peanut M&M's. I like Mike and Ike. I like Reese's Pieces. I like, like I said, Raisinets. I like because I can at least tell myself half of it's good for you because it's raisins, and the other half isn't. All right, moving on. We're going to talk about dun da 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 dun da 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 na dun da 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 na dun da da da.
Yeah, we should have probably put that up there.
So, well, I don't want to get a copy. I don't want to get a copy.
Oh, that's right. We would get a copy strike because they're really being butt heads against.
So Superman 78 came out about 2-3 weeks ago. So issue 2 is due any minute now, I guess. We're going to review it. I'll talk more art. Dennis will talk more story. First, out of the gate, inside front cover, very nice tribute to Richard Donner. I thought it was great. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that before he died, because I know the production schedule of comics, he probably saw the book at least in a digital form as a PDF before he passed away. I hope he did. I think he would have been pretty happy with it. So that was very nice of him to do.
His quote, I think this was great. And I mean, this immediately endeared me. Well, that is a good quote, but not his quote. Oh. Richard Donner said, "The main aim of our interpretation is to uphold and enhance a great American myth. The key to the whole concept of the film is verisimilitude. We've treated it as truth." And honestly, if you look at the original release of this, and then we went back and you saw the Richard Donner cut, fantastic. I mean, I still get goosebumps. I still get goosebumps.
I love the Donner cut of Superman too. That's the DVD I have of it.
I actually got rid of the other ones. I have the Donner cut. This is great. So this was a fantastic tribute, right in the opening main page of the book.
So we get some nice stuff from Krypton, a little retelling for people that might not know. The artwork is really, really nicely done. Why am I drawing a blank on the artist's name now? Now I feel bad because go back to the cover. Oh, Wilfredo Torres. He's great. Very simple style, kind of Alex Toth in a way, reminiscent of Alex Toth in a way. it's hard to draw in a pared down style. It's a lot easier to fill junk up with line work. He has a simple style, very pared down. I thought that was really nice.
And you felt even on that first page, because this is Superman 78, we know and love it from the movies. So they're trying to capture the essence of the characters from that movie. And you felt, Jarrell, that was Marlon Brando. You could feel it. I thought he just did a nice job.
Yeah, his likenesses aren't photo real, which is nice. And they're not caricatures, which are the cartoony. He's just he's very economy of line with what he puts down on paper. And, he nailed the likenesses. Even the body posture of Kent running up here to catch Lois is really nice. The body attitude here of Clark. I don't know if they got Margot Kidder's estate to sign off on a likeness or not, because I'm not, through all the Lois shots in this book, I didn't get a real strong Margot Kidder sense.
Right.
Did you?
No, and I think that was probably done. I agree with you on purpose.
Well, if they didn't get the likeness, then they couldn't do it.
Right. That's why they probably didn't, because everybody else in here, I thought they did.
Yeah, Christopher Reeve is done really well. Just the tip of the glasses here and stuff, how he would use his powers back in the 1978 movie. Very reminiscent. Let me just blow up on this last panel of Lois just to see the face. That's a look. It's definitely the hairstyle that Lois had, but not a real strong Margot Kidder. But that is Christopher Reeve to a T.
Yes.
Story-wise, look at this. Before we get to the story stuff.
Look at Perry White.
Perry White. Once again, Christopher Reeve got the building down for the Daily Planet, which is really nice. It looks like they even got the rights for Jimmy Olsen. If not, that's really good. But yeah, for Perry White, that is him right there. And that is definitely Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, and their dialogue in this. So, just take that panel. Superman. I don't know, Mr. White. Lois really has a nose for news. And some of the risks she takes, it's awfully dangerous. Haven't you been listening? That's called being a reporter. Now, get out there and get your angle. So when I'm reading the dialogue, you can hear Christopher Reeve saying they nailed the dialogue on this in this entire issue. It brings you all the way back. They nailed the dialogue. They nailed the characterizations of it, the flow of the story, and they introduced. Obviously, this is called Brainiac for a reason. So
spoilers!
There's no spoilers. You showed the cover. It is literally on the cover.
I know that's my one complaint is. For the cover, I would like to have seen more of an iconic. I like the layout and design of the cover, but instead of a big Brainiac back there, go back to the cover just so I can see it on your screen real quick. Yeah, there's on the cover. I like the Lex Luthor, which he nailed a good Gene Hackman as well.
Yes.
I just would like to see more of an iconic. That is an iconic shot of Superman with him flying straight up, but the camera's so far back. It's nicely designed cover, but I'd like it. This is comic books, and I'm about dynamics. I think a more dynamic shot, a bigger shot of, just ignore that phone, bigger shot of somebody just wants to see how my car insurance is. That's what it is. One more ring. It's over. I've got it set for 3, and then boom, that's it. I would like to have seen a bigger, cooler shot of Superman on the cover, maybe flying at us with his fist out in front like he used to, they had Christopher Reeve fly in the movie. I just think it would have been more dramatic. I think people were going to pick up this book regardless, and you didn't have to put Brainiac on the cover. AJ Tom is in the house. Relax, he's here. That's his intro every time. Well,
That's awesome.
better late than never, AJ. Yeah, I don't think Brainiac needed to be on the cover. I think Superman 78 sold itself. And that's it. Oh, Pop, are you calling back? Because Pop says that was me calling. So are you trying again? I'm not going to answer you, Pop.
Hotline.
And if I was close enough to the phone, I'd get it just to hang up.
We're going to get you one of the Bat Red hotlines right into Andy's studio.
That's right. So yeah, I don't think Brainiac needed to be on the cover. I think the book was going to sell. I think the book would have sold the exact same numbers if they kept it a secret that Brainiac was the villain and not give it away. I do like this big shot of Brainiac. I would love to have seen a big shot of Superman somewhere in this book. Let me just move on here. So we get the shot on the previous page before this where he's running at the camera and he's going to pull his shirt open, and then it cuts to something else, and then we cut to this and you get the nice big chest shot. This is right out of the movie.
It's great.
Which I thought was fantastic. Nice big Superman here. I mean, look, he took a still from the movie. And I don't think there's a damn thing wrong with it, because if I was going to be drawing Superman 78, I would have probably done the same stuff. This, I would like to see maybe a little more dramatics there. I can tell you one thing. When I first got into comics, I drew a guy aiming a gun at somebody. The guy was in the background. The person he was aiming the gun at was in the foreground. And I remember the editor telling me I had to redraw the arms on the guy aiming the gun because the gun was slightly off. And if you followed the trajectory, it wasn't actually pointing at the guy. And I thought it was a minor quibble and nobody else would notice. But, he's the editor, first job in comics. Okay. Well, the same thing can be said for this. I'm not, I look at stuff like that now. And now, for instance, on this, where the hell's my mouse? There it is. I look at stuff on this and his head isn't really turned to where he's going to be nailing him. But that's a small thing. But you know what? I can't just heap praise upon praise upon praise. I've got to find something. Well, let me blow this up. Hold on.
I was going to say, I disagree with you a little bit on the cover.
I like this last. I love that. That's so Christopher Reeves. All right, you go ahead and tell me why you're wrong. And my mountain bike can't chat, but I'll be listening. All right, AJ Tom, don't fall. Hope you're wearing a helmet.
That's right.
All right, go ahead. Tell me why you're wrong.
No, I actually like the fact that Brainiac was on the cover, because if you titled this Superman 78 and you just put it up there, unless you physically pick it up, if you're looking at the preview, I would be like, oh, are they just redoing the movie? If you're just putting up the iconics on there, I'm like, at least when I saw Brainiac, I'm like, oh, Brainiac wasn't in any of the movies.
But just to say, covers have blurbs. You literally could have done a blurb that said, all new story, all new adventure.
You could. But
I know what you're saying. People like to see the visual. I get it.
I love Brainiac, so when I saw him on the cover, I'm like, oh, maybe this takes between Superman the movie and Superman 2.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm good with that. I want to see how they're going to do the 1978 version of Brainiac.
Oh, and
I liked it.
Well, that's what he looked like in the 70s.
Exactly.
From the comics. Yeah,
I liked it.
I agree. I just love this last panel. Just the body gesture and stuff. So that's great. That's great. All right, let's see. This is another great page spotlighting Superman fighting Brainiac. Brainiac just lifts him up and plows him down into the ground. Very nice.
I'm Superman.
I love this shot of Superman down. I love this whole page. Like I said, it's a very Wilfredo Torres. There's only one other artist I would have been like, why isn't he doing it? And it's Gary Frank. Because when Gary Frank drew his run on Superman with Jeff Johns, you could tell he modeled him after Christopher Reeves. Now, Gary Frank has a lot more line work and rendering in his art. And while I don't mind that, seeing Wilfredo's style on this book with the very minimalistic line work and that Alex Toth feel, once again, it's very hard. It's harder to pull back and be simple than it is to noodle up with a bunch of line work. Not saying what Gary does is that, but just in general, it's harder to figure out what to leave out. And I just thought this stuff was great. He's drawing Superman the size Christopher Reeve is. He's not overly built and stuff. Just great stuff. Nice fight. I love his head off.
Yep, I just love this. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. No need to have backgrounds. From a storytelling point of view, backgrounds, the more stuff in a panel, the slower the reader will read through the page because more lines slow your eye down. So if he drew backgrounds in this panel, it just would have slowed the reading down. Here you're like, punch, uppercut, punch, and then punch. Just real nice, whips you right through the page. I thought that was great. And then, of course, we get the real key shot of Brainiac in the end. I assume he's on a ship above Earth, and we see the Brainiac from the 70s. Always loved this version of Brainiac. He's not on Earth, though.
He's not. He's somewhere out in the universe because this was a probe that he sent.
Right. Yeah.
And the dialogue in this, so this is where, Andy can talk about the art all day. The dialogue was so good in this and so simplistic and yet incredibly effective. It's like Earth, confirmed presence of class ultra invasive species, because they talked about it earlier. He believes in preserving entire cultures. And as far as Brainiac knew, the Kryptonians have been wiped out of the universe, but they identified as Kryptonian. After 32.4 galactic time increments, one is revealed to have escaped. So obviously this is a long galactic time period. Earth's unevolved interspecies balance is in critical danger. Well, this rogue Kryptonian then must be collected by Brainiac. And it's just a great ending to it, because he's not going there out of malevolence.
Right.
He's going there because he thinks he needs to save Earth from basically having a species interfere with its development. Right. It's just a very cool basic concept from the late 70s.
Right. So, you look at it, and Brainiac is trying to be altruistic with his, with what he's trying to do. The villain, you can kind of say in a story, the villain doesn't know they're the bad guy because of their intentions. But let's be real. A lot of villains you can look at and go, well, you kind of want to kill people. That's bad. But Brainiac does have honest intentions here. At least that's what he thinks. That's what he's going off of. So it'll be neat to see how this story evolves. It is 6 issues. I'm on board for it. Let's CGC grade this bad boy then. Unless you have more to talk about the story.
Oh, I thought you were going to go. No. I am.
Oh, no, you can go first.
Oh, I absolutely loved this book. I had high hopes for it, so I was afraid of being a little disappointed, but I was not at all. This had so much of the feeling, not only the looks of it, the dialogue of it, the story. This would have been a great follow-up. To get rid of Superman 3 and 4 from the movies, this would have been a great movie so far. I'm giving this a 9.6. I am absolutely picking up this entire run, and I haven't picked up Superman in a while.
Wow, 9.6. That's hefty going out of 10.
That is.
I'm just going to a 9.2. I enjoyed the hell out of it. 9.6, it takes a lot because I've got that very critical eye. Sometimes too critical, but 9.2, still a hell of a score. I'm looking forward to issue 3, which might be issue 2, which might be next week. It's either next week or the week after. Because I know this has been out for a couple, 3 weeks. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it comes out next week. Hopefully I'm right. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I love the art. I was very jazzed for this when I heard about it, because they've done all the Batman stuff. When they did Batman 66, my first thought was, give me a Superman 78. And then they announced Batman 89. And I was like, oh, I love Batman 89, but my favorite is Superman. What the hell? And then they did announce the Superman 78. And when I saw who they were pairing for the art, I was like, all right, you guys are doing it now. So very happy that is what they're doing, and looking forward to it.
Yep, I agree.
So there you go. That's it for today's show. We'll come back on Friday, and on Friday we'll talk about Protégé, the movie with another babe Dennis really likes.
Maggie Q.
Oh, I was going to say Michael Keaton. He's a bae, not a babe. Michael Keaton's in it, Maggie Q, and Samuel Jackson. She is a female badass a la John Wick. And we're going to review that on Friday, as well as the past 2 episodes of What If, because we're a week behind on What If. So we'll talk about last week's What If featuring Doctor Strange, and this week, Dennis already watched it. I'm going to watch it tonight. Deals with the zombie part of Marvel Universe, and I'm really looking forward to that.
And I just looked it up. Superman #2, Superman 78 issue #2 comes out in 3 weeks.
3
weeks.
Comes out. Didn't come out a week ago.
It comes out September 29th.
Oh, that is not monthly. There's no way.
Nope.
Because that didn't come out last week.
Nope. So they must have a slightly different time schedule. But anyway, that comes
whatever.
out in 3 weeks. I'll be in Atlanta tomorrow, so I'm going to try and get most of the quick flips put up today, so you guys can see the quick flips hopefully tonight. Might be late tonight. And then hopefully by this weekend, I'll be able to start getting some of these read and getting the hashtag full reviews out. So if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to the Dennis and Andy channel here so you get the updates on all the comic reviews.
That's right. And guys, remember, First Man 2 Learning Curve ends next Tuesday night. So please, if you haven't backed it yet, go back it.
Less than a week.
64 pages of great superhero action and adventure. Nice little father-son story in there as well. Luke with his pops. But there is the villain, the Fourth World Foundation, and their being that they created, known as Adonis. So there's a slobber knocker of a slugfest in there as well. And Luke's got to learn to be a hero while juggling being a freshman in college. And there might even be a college girl in there that he meets. You got to get the book to find out. Back it now. Here's the trailer. We'll see you guys on Friday. Bye.
Luke Henry, after kicking Monarch's ass to the depths of space, is back on Earth. And now he's looking to save the world from the Fourth World Foundation. Sure, he had help from Penumbra before, but she's not helping him this time. He's got to face it on his own. He's coming for a villain known as Adonis. He'll do it. You'll be there. Back it now. First Man 2, Learning Curve.